Hi, fourth grade. Today we're going to do an exercise on perspective. Perspective is when you draw lines in a picture to make it look like you are adding 3D space, and it gives the picture depth. We're going to be doing an abstract perspective, but you can easily see how I will turn my shapes into just flat shapes without any depth into shapes that look like they are 3D. Okay, for this project, you need just regular white computer paper, and I would strongly suggest you putting some scrap paper underneath. Maybe you don't need this much, but I know I'm using a new Sharpie, so I like to always have something down on my tabletop when I draw so the Sharpie doesn't leak through. Okay, now what I need to do is I am going to put 3 rectangles in 3 corners of this paper, and they'll be slightly different sizes. And this is just a rough estimate, but basically I want a bigger one here, slightly smaller there. So I'm going to start in this corner here, and I'm going to use a ruler and a pencil, and I'm basically going to go with a rectangle that's about 4 inches, and I would say probably 2.5. By 4. Okay, it's less important for exactly getting the right measurements than it is to make it look like a nice, neat rectangle. So my rectangle is about 4 inches by 2.5. Now I'm going to put one over here. Now I want my rectangle to be slightly longer and thinner. I don't want them to be all exactly the same because I want to add a little variety to my paper. Okay, but if yours look a little bit different, that's fine. You'll see how it turns out at the end. Basically my rectangle here is going to be about 3.5. I'll make it tall and narrow. Say 3.5 by 1.5. Okay, and then I'm going to put one up here in the corner. And I'm going to just make this like 2 inches. 2 inches and just under 2. So it looks pretty close to a square. Okay. Okay. So I have 3 different sizes of rectangles on my paper on this lower, from the diagonal down, 3 different ones. This one's bigger, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller here. Doesn't really look like there's any depth. We haven't really done anything to make it perspective. It just looks like 3 flat shapes on the paper. Okay? In fact, I'll make them a little darker here. To give something an illusion of depth, you have to put on the paper what's called a vanishing point. And the vanishing point then allows all the depth lines to go to that one particular point, and then that's what creates the illusion of space or 3D. Sometimes you can have multiple vanishing points in a picture that you really want to make it look like it's 3D or it goes off into space. But the simplest one to get the point across is what's called a 1-point perspective. So find the place in the middle of these that you would put a dot. Okay? Just put a dot. Now, just for the sake of speeding things up, I'm going to use my Sharpie to trace, but you can easily slip with doing this in markers, so you might want to do it in pencil first and then go over it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the sides of each of my shapes and connect them and make them go towards the vanishing point. And by doing that, I will create shapes that look 3D. So I go to this corner here, go to the vanishing point, make sure with marker that you just don't move it over and smear it. Give it a little minute to dry. I'm going to go from this corner to my vanishing space. Again, I'm turning this around just to keep it from smearing. This corner here. Now you can see how it already looks like it's going off into the space. Then I'm going to the next one. I'm going to the edge here, vanishing space. Vanishing space, or the vanishing point. So you can see now it looks like they're all 3D shapes and coming out from the edge. Okay, now look at the depth we've created here by using the vanishing points. So we've made it look like that these could be all fit back together into the same piece, and now they've just been blown apart. Now, to give a little bit more illusion of depth here, it's good if you add 3 flat shapes because it will help enhance these shapes. So here in the middle, I'm just going to put a little round circular piece here. Over here, I'm going to do a little triangle. And then over here, I'm going to do a half circle shape. And again, because they're flat, that's going to more emphasize this part here. So I'm just going to do a little smile, a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to connect them at the sides. Okay. Now you have this wonderful abstract piece. I could add another circle there if I want to, but I have this wonderful abstract picture which accentuates the 3D-ness with everything going to the vanishing point. Now, all the vanishing points and the 3D lines are going on the tops and the insides of the block. The other one, the other side, is flat, like you would if you had a cube or something going off in the space with vanishing point. Now you want to do the coloring, and you want to pick 5 different crayons because, again, to add the illusion of space, all the inside pieces need to be colored the same, and also these tops and bottoms. Again, it will add to the coloring effect here. So let's take one color. I'm going to take this color here. Now I'm going to take the dark purple, and I'm going to do all the insides, this purple color. Okay, and now I'm going to color my tops and bottoms this color. I want some contrast here, so I don't want to pick all the same colors. So I thought that this teal and this purple has a good contrast. I'm sure whatever colors you pick will look really great. Just make sure that you pick some contrasting colors. These all have to stay the same. Okay, I would like each of these shapes to match one of the boxes here. I'm going to make sure that they're opposite. So whatever color I pick for this one, I'm going to do for this one. What other color I pick for this one, I'm going to do for that, and this to that. Okay, so I'm going to pick opposites. So I'm going to go with my orange color here. And here you go with your abstract perspective design. Enjoy. Bye.